It's that time of the month again. Yeah, an Olight sale. This time it's their 16th year anniversary. And there's some new products out that we can talk about. And yeah, let's just go ahead and dig right in. There's going to be some that you're going to want to avoid. There's going to be some that you're definitely going to want to consider. Let's get this done. We have the freebies. If you are a new member and you join, you will go ahead and get this I3E. Now it's important to note that when you create a new account, you're also going to get 2 coupons. $10 off if you spend 60 or more, and then 15 off if you spend 90 or more. So keep those in mind. You're going to have to manually add those to your cart if you decide to set up an account. Don't want to forget that. And if you've already made a purchase with Olight, you can get this for free instead, which is actually a really nice little light. This is the I16, you know, similar to the I15, basically the same thing, just the next year. And this is the basic same internals as the I1R2 Pro, 180, I think 180 max lumen count with a 5 lumen low, USB Type-C charging, just a great keychain flashlight. So these are something you want to make sure you add to the cart, but I believe it does so automatically. For this section, we're going to go ludicrous speed, and I'm going to run through everything that you might want to avoid. Starting with this bottle opener. It's made of titanium, but at $15, it's not really worth it. You're not going to get a lot of functionality. These close wrenches aren't that good. You're not going to use this for anything other than bottle opening. Let's be honest. Let's just be truthful. Moving on, we have this, which is supposed to be a card, multi-tool, and wallet. The problem is that they haven't heat treated the steel very well, and this bent the first time I used it right here on the Phillips head screwdrivers. It has a prying tool, but I think it's going to have the same problems because it's not a very good heat treatment. The flathead's going to have the same problem, but on top of that, it's also not going to get into a lot of areas because it has a weird angle. And you have this cutting edge that if you use it and it's part of your pocket or anything like that, you might just cut a hole in your pants, and that's not really good, you know, because you don't want to have holes in your pants. So there's that. On top of this, you also have utility blade holders, one that's carbon fiber, one that's titanium. They both have the same problem. They use proprietary blades that have holes in the middle. The problem with that is that you can't get those blades anywhere else, so it kind of defeats the purpose of having a utility knife in the first place. Okay, moving on. Let's get to the good stuff, shall we? So starting with the good stuff, we have the Baton 3 Pro in this awesome white finish. I mean, if you were thinking what I'm thinking, yeah, Stormtrooper, it's happening. Except that this is a little bit too pristine for it to be Stormtrooper. So I have an idea. If we take this out and we actually roll it along the asphalt, especially if it's a fresher asphalt, maybe I can get some of those black marks indented inside and it'll have the perfect Stormtrooper approach. So I'll have to do that in the future. And if you're not familiar, this is a 1500 lumen max output flashlight. It uses a proprietary battery that is indicative of most of the magnetic charging systems in Olight. It is a great system if you are already part of it. However, I would not recommend this as my first purchase into that system. Instead, I would suggest something like the Baton 3 with the charging case, which is Type-C charging right here. You can charge it 3.5 times, and I have taken this on vacation a number of times and never needed to plug this thing in, ever. And I used it a number of times all the way through the night without any issue whatsoever. You can get this as part of a bundle. You have to kind of select 3 items that have that DIY bundle. Here's an example of what I actually purchased from this sale and got 40% off. So this goes from $100 to $60. This is the purchase I like the most. But if you're already in the system and you like this colorway, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to get it because they almost always sell out. Now, what else? There are some new products. So let's talk about Olight's bulbs. You know, bulbs. It's not like they have something that makes it look like testicles. Oh, wait. So they have a couple of new variants. And this is one of them. This is the Obulb Plus. Now they also have the Obulb, I think it's like Pro S or something like that. It's slightly bigger than the smaller varieties. These are, let's see, this is the regular versions. And they also have the, where is it? That's not, wrong one. I have so many of these damn things. The Obulb MC, which has multiple colors. MC standing for multicolor. They also have a slightly brighter output, so 75 lumens for max for this with a little bit more runtime, 55 lumens for this, slight price increase. There is a middle version that I don't have here, a fourth model, and that's the one I would not suggest, okay? This is the jump you want to make from the MC all the way up to this. Why is the Obulb Plus so much better? It has Bluetooth capability. It also has a higher output and a longer runtime. So you're going to be able to control it completely from an app. I did get the chance to play with it, and it's pretty cool. I think where these things really come in are outdoor lighting. You can take them off their charging port. They are IPX7 waterproof. You can use them in the tub. They float, actually. And it is a really useful tool. In fact, this is the most used flashlight among my family members. I have given them as gifts. They love them. They use them for night lights. They use them for a whole variety of different things. And when the power goes out, it's the easiest light to get in reach. And because it kind of just, all the light goes everywhere, it is definitely the way to go. Okay, I'm trying to remember how this one works. Hold it. That's what it is. You could just set it on the table and you're good to go. 3 hours plus with some of these, and it's just awesome tool. So we'll run through the, I'm getting mixed up all the user interface. I think this is a hold press to get turned off. They're all a little bit different, but we'll talk about this one. So this actually has, instead of it being a button on the bottom, actually has a press on the top. Now it memorizes the last thing you had on. If you press it once, you'll go to the different light modes. I'm sorry, that's very psychedelic. Let's move on. Solid blue and white, off. And then here's the cool thing. If you hold press, it will get brighter. This will go to a max of 300 lumens. And then if you hold it again, it'll dim itself. So you can kind of go all the way down. So that's really nice. You have a complete control over that, and the app will do this as well. It has some other modes, which I think are really cool. I like the firelight mode. Another cool mixed color and kind of a water approach. You might end up seeing this in videos because I'll probably end up putting a few of them behind as sort of backup lighting. Now, backup lighting is incredibly expensive when it comes to photography and videoing, so this might be a reasonable solution, and none of those are waterproof. This is waterproof. So I can think of some pretty creative ways that photographers and videographers might be able to utilize this tool. Anyway, pretty cool, and it's on sale right now as its initial debut. Double tap for turning off, and there you go. That's pretty much all the things you need to know about their bulbs. Before we get to the most important item that they have come out with, in my opinion, in this sale, I want to propose something to Olight. A while back they had a bundle where you could get the Track, which has 4 charging ports and is USB Type-C, with 4 Obulbs. And frankly, this is a great system. And I highly recommend they release this again. Why? Because more so than any of the other systems, with the exception of the Baton 3, I think that this is going to be a great solution for a lot of households. My daughter loves these things. You know, because they're IPX7, you know, they end up in baths, they ended up attached to walls. If you don't know, there's actual metal molding on a lot of window frames, and so you can literally just stick them right there to a wall. It's pretty awesome. It is definitely the thing I think would hook people into the magnetic charging system. These two specifically are something that should always be on sale 100% of the time. And yeah, this is something they need to do, like right now. Anyway, let's move on. The best thing that they released in this entire sale is got to be the I3T with this awesome sprinkles setup. Check this out. It's not actually like an anodization. They've actually cut holes and then filled it with different colored resin. I don't even know how they did this. And then anodized it pink on top of it. I freaking love this. This is so cool. The only problem is that my daughter immediately decided that it was hers. I put the original battery back in there. And so, of course, I had to get another one myself, which brings up one of the bundles that you might want to consider. You can get the Plus bulb as well as this together for a really, really good price. So that is the one I would go with if you're going to get one. But you don't want to wait too long because I have a feeling this colorway is going to go quickly. Now, there's something different about this light that I just happened to notice. So if I leave it on high, turn it off for a few seconds, and then turn it back on, it comes back in on high. So they have swapped with the original design, and now it has some form of mode memory. That could be good or bad. It really depends on your preference. So if you like to leave it on high, yeah, it's going to come in on high. That's going to be great. If you wanted it to always come in on low and you couldn't remember which one it is, it might not be as big of an advantage for you. Now, just as an example, so if I leave this on high, turn it off, wait a few seconds, turn it back on, it's going to come in on low. That's the way they were before. On top of this, one of the advantages of the I3T was that you could use a more powerful battery to more than double its output. So this is the low with the separate battery. This is the, let me go back to the low. This is the low. This is the low over here. So big difference in output. Now watch this. High, high. Ha! It's such a huge jump. It's not even funny. In fact, this is an i5R fully charged, a maximum output of 350 lumens. So that's 350. That is the i3T. It is actually brighter than 350 lumens. In fact, I think I had a friend measure this on another video, around 550 lumens with this battery. So what battery am I talking about? I'm talking about a 10440. They are 3.7 volts. That is a really cool trick that you can do with these flashlights. But it appears that they have changed that functionality with this particular model. I did not realize that was a thing. And maybe they did it in a past model. I'm about to check all these others. But yeah, it seems to be regulated instead. So this feels a little bit more like 15 lumens, and that feels like 180 lumens. And it's clearly brighter to have the older model versus this one. I have to check in with the rep and see what the deal is with that. That could be a safety feature to kind of keep this light from using too much power and potentially burning out the LED. That is one thing you run into with using that supercharged battery. You could melt the lens if it's on for too long. So just be aware of the heat management with it. I haven't heard anyone have any major issues, but you know, there is such a thing as continually resetting it to turbo. So this will drop after 5 minutes down to a lower output on its high mode. But if you keep cycling up to the high over and over again, you probably would melt the lens with this battery. So between those things, that's just what you want to be made aware of. I'm pretty pleased with the sale in general offerings, mostly because I realized that you have a bundle option. So if you don't see something that you like, you can kind of combine them and get what you want. Also on sale are these. This is the Arcfeld. It's actually a light that really did surprise me. It's now one of my favorites, and actually I do carry it. I actually kind of like the UV a little bit more, but for a lot of family members, this is actually the preferred because of that laser. My mother has stole now 2 of these and uses them practically every day on the job site. So I hope this was helpful for you, kind of gave you an idea of what to consider. They also make knives, but keeping in mind that their knives are actually OEM by Kaiser, so the quality is actually very high. So if you like a style, you're also going to know that it's going to be good as well. That's it. I'm going to leave it here. I hope this was helpful for you, maybe give you an idea of what to do with the sale. Link, of course, is going to be down below, and we'll talk again soon.